There is a secret path to navigate through this array, and players will have to discover what that path is. There's also a secret message that this game helps teach, which we'll talk about at the end. Divide your group into teams of between 4 and 10 people and lay out an 8x8 grid of paper in front of each team. The team's goal is to successfully cross from one side of the grid to the other by determining the only safe path. One person goes at a time, and the first person will randomly pick one of the 8 tiles in the first row. Only one of them is safe, so if they are incorrect, then they return to the back of their team's line, and the next person gets to try a different tile. When they do guess the correct tile, now their team knows that the first step in the path is that tile. From that spot, the player can choose any of the adjacent tiles, including diagonals. Again, if they pick the correct tile, then they can keep going, but as soon as they make a mistake, then they have to return to the back of their line, and the next person starts from the beginning. Now, that second person probably won't have a very hard time remembering the safe path that the person before them navigated, but as the challenge goes on, it gets more and more difficult to remember the correct order. Now, teams could simply make their way through the entire pass with random trial and error, but especially as you get further into the challenge, this starts to take a lot of time, and so you should provide them with another option. Somewhere far away from where you're playing, like in a different part of the building, you should display the answer. At any given point, teams are allowed to send one representative to the answer key and take a look. They can try to memorize as much of the path as they can to help their team, but they aren't allowed to use their phones to take a picture. How this activity normally plays out is that the teams will use their trial and error method, make a little bit of progress, and then the person who saw the answer key comes back and quickly helps the group move through the next 4 or 5 steps. The group can go to look at the answer key as many times as they want to, and they can even send different people, but they can only send one person at a time. If your group is able to successfully navigate to the end of the underground pass, then they have completed the challenge. And now, even though I stole the concept of this activity from a certain online game, I found a powerful way to use it as a teaching tool. During a discussion at the end of the meeting, most people will agree that having a plan to follow made the execution of their task run a lot smoother. Sure, teams still made progress with the random guess and check method, but it was the instruction from the people who saw the answer key that propelled the team forward the fastest. Having a well-established plan is a key component of any endeavor that you take on in your life. If you float along and just let life happen to you, then you'll never be able to fulfill your true potential. And you can use this idea to lay out the importance of any plan that your group wants to establish. For sports teams, it might be talking about why you have practices, or for teachers, it could be about the importance of building good study habits. Where I think this lesson really shines, though, is in a youth group setting, because God has laid out a perfect plan for each of us, giving us opportunities to use our strengths to glorify Him. There are a million different directions that you can take your life, and so how are you ever supposed to know which way to go? The answer is in Proverbs. If you commit whatever you do to the Lord, He will make it clear for you what to do next. Don't be someone that just tries stuff at random. Commit yourself to God, allow Him to establish your plans, and then follow them. Using games like this to teach a lesson is infinitely more effective than any other teaching method. The problem is that it's hard to find games online that are fun in the first place, let alone games that have a deeper meaning. And that's why we've launched ActuallyFun Pro, a membership that sends you 2 of these game-driven lessons every month. The lessons not only equip you with a fun game to play, but also give you everything you need to lead a powerful discussion that ties into that game at the end of your meeting. And if you want to see the lesson plan that utilizes the Underground Pass, it's available for free right now in the description. On top of that, you also get 2-week early access to every video, an invite to our monthly mastermind where you get to talk with other youth ministry professionals, and 10% off of every other resource in our store. The current price is only locked in for the first 10 people to sign up, so become a youth ministry pro today by going to memberships at the top of our website.